No. Tack, tack. Tack, tack.
Where are we going, boys?
Slowly.
Okay.
On backside.
I do not.
Flash out!
I see multiple exits. Good. Placing swarm grenade.
Careful now.
Placing sentry. Enemy spotted. Reloading.
Last player standing.
Wait, we have no smoke?
One enemy remaining.
What's happened?
Oh!
Ah, shit, we're going to lose. We have no smoke.
Breach, I wish you'd take my extra reactor coolant. If your arms overheat out there, don't blame me.
ITG.
I'll just make nice here and try to rush
Da.
something.
Careful now. Revealing
I
area.
hit Reyna.
Clearing out!
Last player standing.
Free on B. Lifting utility.
Let's go now.
Careful now.
One close left.
On the heaven. I can storm. I'm behind that, behind that. One short, coming short.
One side.
Ah,
Blasting!
One enemy remaining.
Reloading.
I played a dead match earlier.
Revealing area.
Diamond Ball. And they camping is their stuff, man.
Reloading.
Their expertise, you know, this kind of camping. It's okay, though. It's okay.
I'm done playing. Tack, tack. Let's have some fun.
Careful, they peek here.
Wrong buddy out.
Give me a flash.
Come on, let's go!
Turret out. Placing swarm grenade. Swarm grenade out. Satchel out.
Blinding! You're tired.
Another side.
Swarm grenade out.
Almost still beat.
Flash out!
Last player standing.
Heaven.
Spikes down.
One enemy remaining.
Oh.
You have no smokes, man. They can see everything. They do everything. On the attack. When they attack, it's gonna be fucked up.
Watch them run when lit by my sonar. That's when we strike.
Careful now.
Fucking knew it. They were gonna peek.
Blinding!
Initiated. You should run.
Flash
Turret
out!
out. Placing swarm grenade.
Gone.
Fire in the hole.
Revealing area.
Blinding! Clearing out!
Spike plant.
Reloading!
One up.
One enemy remaining.
I'm still here, amigo. Bomb grenade out.
So
Come on! Get me in the line of
I have
fire.
an amazing game where I carry, and then I turn on the stream and I start trolling. It's amazing.
I need a drop. Cheers! I need a drop. I need a drop. Cheers.
Thanks.
Revealing area.
Winston is cat.
Oh, you ain't coming back.
Motherfucker, man, she scared me.
We'll be
They're echoing. They're echo.
Careful now. Here.
Careful there.
Captain killed.
Told you.
One enemy remaining.
She was on B. She was on B on the beginning of the round.
Placing sentry. Spike planted.
Flawless.
I could have left my arms at home.
Somebody, do you have a mic or something? Breach, can you talk?
They probably want eco. Shattered knives.
What?
I said they probably want eco. Because that has knives.
Alright, my friend.
This one begins.
Careful now.
Right headshot. Enemy spotted.
hunter!
Placing swarm grenade.
Let's
Swarm
go!
grenade out. Target out.
Spike carrier's dead. Revealing area.
One enemy remaining.
I have the spike.
Reload.
Flash out!
Right, maybe.
Spike plant right here. Right here.
Kill everyone, and our job gets a whole lot easier.
What do you say, drone? Ready to stretch your
I'm
wings?
actually trolling.
Don't hold back.
Revealing area.
Get out of my way.
Careful now.
Deploying drone.
Come on, let's go!
One shot, two shot.
Prepare for hellfire!
Reload.
They're super
Thank
dead.
you.
Reloading.
No problem.
Going up.
Oh. Placing swarm grenade. Grenade out.
Both heaven.
Spike
There's no
down.
wall for it.
Placing sentry.
One enemy remaining.
Can go 3.
I'm still here, amigo.
Ooh, this is good, man.
You want me serious? You got it.
Hit them fast, hit them hard.
We'll jet have a we'll jet have a sniper. Let's see.
Huh. You're out.
What?
Blinding.
Terminated.
One enemy remaining.
Turret out. Alarm bot out.
Spike planted. Touch. Murder.
Reloading.
She has ulti.
Reloading.
Enemy spotted.
Not one left. Tack.
I knew this would be easy, but mine is good.
Tack.
That's why they can't
Tack, knock. Tack.
Besides my what give you the fuck playstyle,
Hey.
game is going pretty well.
Hey.
For a game without communication.
Ja.
I can ult B.
Revealing area.
Careful now.
Jet and Wraith on A.
Right here.
Initiated.
Flash out. Blinding. Flash out.
50 blinds later.
One bite.
You should run.
Last player standing.
No one beats my firepower.
Careful.
I got this.
You're actually safe. Let me ult on A.
Hell of a job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Caution here.
I can push
Wraith
3
and
or I can push 7. What do you want?
be careful.
Caution
Wraith
here.
and Jet here.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll flash.
Take him.
Yeah.
Placing storm grenade.
Revealing area.
Placing storm grenade.
There they
Come
are.
on, let's go.
Storm grenade out.
Right here.
2 on 3, 1 heaven.
Flash out. Going up. Careful now.
Fire in the hole.
Reloading.
Reloaded.
Yeah, ult for there.
Right here. Spike carrier down. I have the spike.
What the fuck?
Storm grenade out. Variable removed.
1 enemy remaining. Last player standing.
Revealing area.
Good job.
Always close the door, mate. Always.
Last
I don't know
round
what that
before
is.
the switch.
Either spend all your money or give it to me. Good cause either way.
I don't know if you believe me. Give me your weapon.
I need a drop. Cheers.
I have one. Yeah.
I had a worse start on my thing, but we have no smoke, man. We couldn't take advantage of anything.
Yeah.
We just have to wait.
Found them.
Two there.
Careful now.
Right.
Yes.
What? She's on Tiga.
She's mucking now.
Out of charges.
Last player standing.
Get out of my way.
Let's go.
Dusted.
Switching sides.
If you need help figuring out how,
Yeah.
placing alarm bot.
Yeah.
If you leave any time short, Sova, please close the door.
You're right, my friend. I'm arrow in front of A.
Okay. Don't use the flash. But, yeah.
I got you, bruv.
I'm gonna push, of course.
Careful now.
My aim was bad.
Smoke down. They're coming short. One is short, goes.
I think we have to play on 4 on A.
Last player standing. Spike planted.
I'll do my job, you do yours.
Okay, body.
A mid link. Short. Still short.
Careful now.
Got him.
Last player standing.
And the other one's speed, SCI speed. Bring some more
That was
market.
short.
No, you said.
Spike planted.
Pizza move to market.
Yeah.
Satchel out. Satchel out.
Trying to save man. What the fuck? So good. Gonna be B, I think.
A lot mid. Coming short one.
Killjoy is right next to you.
She's low, 30 HP. Coming short.
Bomb grenade out.
Okay, pushing short, 2 at least.
They're not on scene. They were on mid, careful. They can go B.
One enemy remaining.
One more.
It's going on side.
Concussing.
Spike planted.
I speak the vandal.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, no. You don't deserve my invention.
Yeah. If you're not a good shot today, don't worry. There are other Yeah.
ways to be useful.
Placing alarm bot.
Yeah.
Let's go. Careful now.
I'm leaving.
Bye-bye.
Flash out.
They have pistons, careful.
Bomb grenade out.
Blinding.
Petty.
Taken out.
So it's really bad, man. If it was me firing at her,
One enemy remaining.
fucking
Revealing
shooting me.
area.
it was me, I would aim for the head. I would miss. Don't know why. She would kill me.
No one here.
For sure.
Quit your tiptoeing. They're all dead. Yeah. I see the spike.
Act on my intel. Don't give them time to reposition.
I need a drop.
Turret out. Placing swarm grenade.
Cheers.
Alarm bot out.
I can buy you if you want.
Placing swarm grenade.
Careful now. Come on, let's go.
Alright.
People here. People here. Someone here, cover.
One mid.
One left side. One left side here. Cover.
Enemy spotted.
Cover.
Enemy down. Caution here.
Left side.
You got what short.
Here comes the party.
But I'm smoked off here.
Wait, someone was here.
Revealing area.
Fuck
Caution
me.
here.
Top mid
People here.
rotating.
Two guys. Two guys here.
One enemy remaining.
Lul.
Top mid.
Thirty seconds left.
Flash out.
Tremor.
Revealing area.
100. 100.
In a fair fight, I'd still kill you.
One phone? Mine is 1,200 people. That's enough.
Stay taut as a bowstring. The fight demands it.
Yeah. Hey. Time out. Yeah.
Placing alarm bot.
Careful now.
This must begin.
One Sabrosa, one top mid.
Get out of my way.
Enemy mark. My ult not ready.
Right here. Found them.
Killed my bot.
Blinding.
Initiated.
Flash out.
Come in.
Satchel out.
Last player standing.
Ah, turret down.
Spike planted.
Bomb grenade out. Placing sentry.
We doing this or what?
Placing sentry.
I need a drop. I need a drop. Cheers.
Pushing shot, pushing shot.
She's low. No, she's not low. No.
Good. Last player standing.
That was my bad.
I can hold an area pretty well myself. Make sure to cover the angles I can't.
Turret out.
People, focus, please.
Yes.
There. Let's start this party. Somebody out.
I am the hunter.
Just rush me, then you let them. We're gonna
Prepare
go
for hellfire!
2 hits.
Here comes the party.
the fuck.
One enemy remaining.
Deploying
Drone.
30 seconds left. Thrifty.
They sacrificed for nothing.
Trust me, they'll know what hit them.
Placing sentry. Touch, touch. Yeah.
Alarm bot out.
Yeah.
We have money. Shut up. Well, let's try. Better not.
Near. Behind me.
Let's
Careful now.
One shot.
Enemy spotted. Oh,
I like these. Nice.
Last player standing.
Ow. Satchel out.
Spike planted.
We are giving up mid every round. You can just surrender if you want to lose.
No, let's go.
Go where?
Reloading.
Placing sentry.
I'm going far away from mid now.
I need a drop.
It's just free mid every round, so
I'll just shot one of you.
There.
Right here.
Let us begin.
Shot, pushing shot. Be careful, Phoenix, Phoenix.
One minute.
Worthless.
One
Phoenix,
enemy
Phoenix,
remaining.
Phoenix. I see him, here. Here.
Careful now.
Okay, take a break, guys.
Match point.
One last fight, everyone. We can do it.
Turret out. There.
Careful, B. They're probably not taking.
Don't hold back.
Amateur. Found them.
You should run.
Let's go!
Enemy spotted.
Come on, let's go!
-50. Side already.
One is running away.
They spike there.
Careful
Go
now.
fight.
Here.
Where's your market?
There they are.
He's gonna get killed
Last player standing. One enemy remaining.
on the bottom.
I'm twitchy here. Let's go already.
Keep up. Enemy spotted. There they are.
Bro.
They push it.
And I'm back.
Push it right.
Forever!
Bomb grenade out.
No more.
CT.
Blinding!
Spike planted.
Dead.
Fire in the hole.
Was it?
Last player standing. Switching sides.
Come on, guys.
Overtime.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I got you, bro.
Bomb grenade. Bomb grenade out.
Revealing area.
Don't commit.
Careful now.
Placing swarm grenade.
Can I push?
Satchel out.
Yeah, push.
Sure.
Swarm grenade out.
Back gen.
Satchel out.
Here. Get out of
Revealing
here.
area.
Found them.
Huh.
Spike planted.
player standing.
Get out of my way!
This is the unluckiest game.
Switching sides.
For a spin.
Match point.
Right there.
Let me show you how the boss does it.
Turret out.
Caution here.
One in here.
Spike planted. Last player standing. Attackers win.
824.
Okay, I think the game already started. Let's check it out.
Who teasing us?
Yep.
I can't believe he did us like that. Come on, Eco.
Of course, he's going back. There's so many lineups. He's been practicing it for so long. You know, one of these talking points I want to come into this map, we won't get to hit much here, is that it has been so much Sova we've been seeing. He controls a lot of the maps. He's a very great counter to Omen and just being able to stand behind a smoke, dart over, and fire through. So not seeing it here is a little surprising to me, but that means Sentinels has something up their sleeve, and we're going to see what that is here as we jump onto Icebox in that last semifinal here of First Strike. Who will join TSM in the grand finals? It's going to be a tough one, whoever will get through.
Yeah, and this could very well be another legendary rivalry in the making between these two squads. We don't exactly know. I mean, we've had a glimpse as to how close they are previously, you know, in the qualifiers in that semi. That was a really close affair, but it's still a developing rivalry. 100 Thieves, they've had a lot of time to adjust, to understand from that one encounter with Sentinels how they play and feel out what kind of strategies and tactics will be best suited against them in the future. And both of these teams, again, they've been holding on to stuff. They haven't shown a lot in this tournament. I'm certain of it. Both of these teams understand that they need to make that grand finals run, and they have to have stuff in the tank ready to show at the latest stages. And here we are. It's the semifinals already.
Take a quick pause here before we get things going as they get sorted out before the match starts. Now, when we saw the Nerd Street Gamers Monthly, there was quite a bit of Killjoy coming in. That would hold angles at A. We don't see that anywhere here on the side of the 100 Thieves defense. That's going to be left up to a few traps put around. And it's always been surprising to see how a Cypher plays here as well. A lot of long rotations. If somebody does hit a trap, you're usually quite far away from it. So we'll see how they react off of that on the side of 100 Thieves. Now, Sentinels, I can't wait to see if they do have some B strats here. GDK would be surprising. And a lot of teams actually, to go on a serious note, haven't been working mid too much from what we've seen. Not trying to split that map. And I love maps with a traditional mid, and it seems to just be a holding point so far at First Strike.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something that's, I think, Envy in this tournament, in the playoffs, have shown us quite effectively all of the ways in which you as the attackers can abuse the rotation times and how bad they are for the defenders by just having a hold on that mid-tube area and making the defenders guess, because they have to pick a rotation, they've got to get the information to do so, and that's risky. So it creates all these problems there for the defenders. And Envy, you know, with the masterful calling from Finesse, really showed how you can exploit that. And I would expect both of these teams to be able to play that style out very effectively and to have some answers when they're in the shoes of the defenders as to how to get that info to make it so that you don't fall prey to these horrible rotations. And usually in most maps which have bad defender rotations, let's say you can pick Ascent, for example, you do need to get some forward control somewhere. So we'll have to see, what has Sentinels been working on? What has 100 Thieves been working on to try to solve some of these problems? Because, as we've all mentioned, we haven't seen much Icebox. A lot of this is unknown.
I cannot wait. That's one of the best parts, too. The story's being written here by the teams as we see it the first time. They may have an inkling of what happened in scrims, but that's all gone now. It's about what happens here this weekend. It looks like they will start working towards A to begin, and traps are set quite deep here on the B site, so mostly playing a retake, I believe, if that happens, on the side 100 Thieves. Let's see how they take to this. A bit of utility coming in, just overall nothing unorthodox for this first round.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Definitely a lot easier to retake the B side than A, and as you say, that forward engagement there, already kicking off the action. Exchanges even for both sides, and it seems like Sentinels are barreling through this defense so far, and you can see Nitro will try to slow things down with the dark cover, but it will require some expert shots to try to equalize this one. 100 Thieves are very far behind, and it's nothing short of heroics now that are required to recover this situation, but it's a pistol, so I'm sure we're going to see them try to come up with something.
Not too much utility here on the side. 100 Thieves to get back in. Can Hiko find a few shots? It's going to be a jump over, and a quick frenzy from Sinatra means they only lose Zombs this round. That's going to feel pretty good as they come into round two. An A hit to start off. This should be a quick one as well as Sentinels plays it safe, but fast, if you will. And this first move from Dicey, I love it, right? If nobody's there, huge info. You see all the way down into spawn. You start a rotation. He does get caught, though, which still gives you info. It's just Sentinels was ready to progress from there.
And you can see now in a situation like this, you're playing this anti-eco. Well, with that said, we do have Asuna on the Reyna with the Stinger in hand. So that's pretty awesome because the Stinger, really fast rate of fire. You can get that kill pretty quickly, and then you can dismiss away and reposition. So that's how you could win a round like this, but they're not over-investing. So I like that choice from 100 Thieves, but you can see here the Sentinels hitting up that really fast push there. Nice classic burst from Nitro to defend against Sinatra. Sinatra did create space for his team, though. They lost that one player, but my God, these pistols are doing some serious damage, Rick.
This is huge already. They've dropped armor. They've dropped, not weapons, but at least those first buys coming in. A good bonus round, I should say, for Sentinels, as they haven't lost too much. Spike is down, so they get the extra credits here. But 100 Thieves doing a very nice job of making a case that this round should be theirs, that they can go back and forth right off the bat. There's that Stinger purchased up by Asuna. Steel trying to work it. Will they have the IQ to make this one happen? Continues the fakes. 41 HP. It's going to make it tough, and Zom ducks right under the classic of Steel, and that's going to be it. The second round for Sentinels here, and we'll see what happens once we get some weapons in the hands of both teams.
Really good damage, though, from 100 Thieves. You got to hand it to them. A really nice opening defensive kill from Nitro to sort of start that off, and had he not got that, that would likely have been a very easy cleanup as so much space was created by Sinatra. But with that said, moving into the third round, we'll see the operator picked up by Dicey. A lot of question marks around Dicey for this series. I think they brought it up on the analyst desk, and also with yesterday, Dicey he didn't perform his best. So we'll see if he can do something better here with this operator.
Quick straight up. A little flash coming in from Sick. And Asuna, on the other hand, was hitting the crazy shots. Even Hiko said it, so looking for that consistency from him as well. Hopefully they can find it. And the thing almost answered for me for 100 Thieves yesterday, we'll have to see if it can still happen, is there a connection between the older players and the younger players when it gets tight, when there's intense moments? And they've so far shown in the last series that can be there. Zoms opens up this one. Sinatra will answer with another one. Is Sentinels gain quite a bit of ground before they even start seeing 100 Thieves. What that means, Sentinels is already on site now. It's up to Dicey on the back with the op, and now one bullet left. Looks like he's not going to be able to get that reload down as Shazam takes him out. Nitro fires, and DDK, the first gun round, goes to Sentinels as they continue to swarm these sites with aggression.
Yeah, and this is, so far, Sentinels on the pistol, 5 players into that A site, and then also we saw that again on this buy round. So it's only been the eco round where we saw a switch up from these heavy A investments. So one thing to note there is now 100 Thieves in their next buy round. This is, of course, half buy with some stingers. In the next buy round, they're thinking, okay, we have to answer this problem. How do we do that? this is Sentinels conditioning 100 Thieves. They can play off of that, because maybe if 100 Thieves overreact, they'll leave other areas of the map open. It's a great start from Shazam to deal with this anti-sort of half-buy situation, and it's going to really help them out in making that spike plant a reality here towards B.
For sure. Bladestorm down right away, hoping to at least get a headshot, drop a gun, and make it a little more economically efficient for the 100 Thieves side next round, but not so far DDK. And again, Sentinels push forward hard, dropping 100 Thieves one after the other on this save.
And Thieves looking to find some damage here. Close up with the Stinger. Steel is at least able to do some economic damage, but it is fairly minimal, and I think well within the acceptable losses for Sentinels. And their economy is still growing, and they're now 4-0 up. And I just mentioned, what is the response? 100 Thieves, you would expect that they know that an abusive strategy so far that's worked out for Sentinels is hitting A, just with all 5 players. This leaves the rest of the map open, mid and B, in the early portions of the round. 100 Thieves could either push those extremities, or they could try to shore up the defense on A. They've actually gone for a more passive setup on A with 3, and they're just actually keeping it passive. They expect Sentinels to mix it up here.
They have the cam in mid to make sure nobody's coming up, and it looks like Steel stays in that for a bit. Sinatra finds Nitro as they still try to play a few of the same angles with different utility, different agents, but it seems like Sentinels just has 100 Thieves number right now. Lockdown goes out. Patience for 100 Thieves here as they try to go for the retake. And quite a bit of utility is out to find 100 Thieves if they try.
Ooh, nice catch by Asuna through the smoke there. The recons aren't allowing them extra vision. And this isn't looking too bad on the retake right now. Sentinels force all the way back to the yellow container, and Shazam tries to not allow them to take too much more space. The Cloud Burst will be helpful. That operator is well in hand. He is a dangerous presence, but Asuna, he wipes the floor with them. Sentinels get totally wiped out by that retake. That's a beautiful look if you're 100 Thieves, and I mean, it's been such a struggle until this point.
And I think that's where 100 Thieves, the fans, everyone starts to see their strength. Patient, wait for utility to come back up. The few pings that he got allowed Asuna to know whoever was behind Banana, that's the yellow crate I call it, is hiding. He can fire free at left side, takes 2 out at Crane, they take the 3rd out. That was what we've been seeing from 100 Thieves organization and work. When they're all working together, it's 1, 2, 3, and they pick up the first round here as we come into round 6.
This is going to be fun.
I'm curious if there's any sort of setup here on the A side from 100 Thieves. Sentinels going back to these B hits that have worked out very, very well so far. Love to see if that's going to be the same story, or if there are some changes strategically, or tactically, I should say. And we get the Empress pop there for 100 Thieves. They are anticipating heavy A action, and it will be spotted. Dapper, though, will be taking down Asuna, which is going to create problems now. Ground will be gained for Sentinels, and once again, they take advantages here as they push forward with the Showstopper to take even more ground. Oh, Dicey just gets out of dodge in time.
That was scary. Nicely done. Looks for the shot. Hits the back of Sinatra as he's mid-air. So quick flick there. Nitro also pulls up a kill.
Spike planted.
And now they should be able to retake quite a bit. Sentinels is getting themselves positioned, but they're all in the same spot. This may not help on the retake. There is the Cypher ultimate. And now it's up to the shots for 100 Thieves. Can they hit them? These retakes are always so sketchy. You got to be close. It's always around a corner or a smoke. And the trades start coming in on top of the game, playing a verticality. It's going to be a drop down from Dicey, but he falls, and Steel answers back. It's going to be him and Nitro to finally stay alive in the jungle gym that is an A retake.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you described it really well. It is like a American Ninja Warrior obstacle course up here. Just all these smokes, all these ropes all over the place. These huge objects that kind of have to look up and down. It's just absolute madness and very hard to predict indeed. I can't imagine how it feels to these players in this position, in this tournament at this point. But there you go. 100 Thieves off of the retakes are having great success finally. 2-4 now, a deficit of 2 rounds, so they're on their way back. But with the plant of the spike there, Sentinels will get an economic boon, which allows them to keep the buys coming, keep the pressure up, and now it's their mix-up back in towards the B site pressure with some mid-dark covers as well to, well, I've got to hold that thought. Nitro's able to pick off Sinatra. I wonder if that would change the plan here for
it might.
Sentinels lineup.
DDK, that's one of 2 ops right now. Dicey also has one. We have seen this earlier in a few of the series come in first strike, but usually the double op is not something you see due to the economy change. Nitro looking for the flicks, knows there's one behind containers. Nitro with a 3K off round, and the rest of the team coming up on fire for a Prime Gaming flawless.
Now that's a great answer. For all of these like long rotations and long angles, just get all the operators. You can see Nitro here really flexing his ability to just work with anything. And a bit of trivia for those of you that didn't know, when Nitro first came up in the CSGO world onto the Tier 1 scene, he was a cracked rifler, but then he switched into an IGL and AWP sniping role for years. So
that's awesome.
He can do everything.
That's great. Yeah, operas always want to stand back, or IGLs always want to sit back, so why not give them an op?
And
so
finally, Sentinels on a bad buy.
Yeah, that's a great point. They have kind of been running the show right now. We've been watching them use ults for the past few rounds, able to get into sites pretty willy-nilly. And now they're slowed down. Still gaining the same amount of ground, though. Shazam with the Blade Storm out. We usually see this spot reserved for Zoms, and Asuna rather, going to drop that one down. We've been seeing Blade Storms not have too good of a run this series. And everything's going to start going down at A once again. Doesn't seem like it stops once these start.
Yeah, completely agree. It's actually looking a little bit difficult at this point for 100 Thieves. They have given up the site, which is okay. They have enough to go for that retake. The recon dart goes straight in and gets destroyed straight away. And the spike is planted. And 100 Thieves, they don't have a rush right now. They've got plenty of time to figure out how exactly they can coordinate themselves in. But stingers around these corners, honestly, very, very dangerous. You've got to hit those instant headshots when you're playing against the stingers, as their rate of fire is so brutal. Trying to use this high ground to find a way in. Dicey desperately looking for that initial pick for them to try to burst off of. Steel gaining ground as well on the low ground. And there's that stinger from Sick. Nice frag from Dicey, but I don't know how much more he can do here. Hiko, great support there. Saves Dicey, actually, and that's huge.
Really big to be able to save those weapons on the way out. Yeah, Sentinels is going to be able to get in. It was always tough for 100 Thieves on this one. We actually saw that Steel was late rotating as round 8 comes in for that Playzilla Thrifty. But late, as we saw, a lot of teams holding. They don't want to get faked. They don't want that spike to get planted when they've all rotated. So Steel was coming over. It looked a little bit more intense, right, because you're racing against the clock. But once everybody was there, Sentinels still had what it took to take down 100 Thieves.
And it's very difficult here, I would say, for 100 Thieves, because they feel pretty strong across the whole map. It's just these A entries from Sentinels have been very strong. Sentinels have great coordination, and 100 Thieves, if they don't have any setups that they have already drilled and planned to how to play that more aggressively, they're in a lot of trouble. They may have to play a lot of retakes here. And the double peek, almost a collab there, actually. Nice kill by Dicey onto Shazam. That will go a long way. They've been struggling to get those initial defensive kills, and that could make all the difference here. Asuna, he's been stunning so far, and he's still doing the damage at backside. The Hunter's Fury from Hiko to assist this defense, and my God, this is what they were looking for.
Exactly, DDK. It's those rounds where you forget things are coming online. The ultimates are there. Whenever we see Hiko getting his ultimate, he is always displacing a team and causing chaos for whatever strat they are running there. We saw a few tags, and now Sinatra's left with the operator. Will he be able to make quick work of 3 members of 100 Thieves who are really giving him nothing to work with? He's making a bit of noise. He knows he has some room to work with here, and he might pull out an angle that somebody's peeking at. Can't decide. It's a smorgasbord over here. What's he going to pick? Kid in a candy store. Takes the plant.
30 seconds left.
What a tough situation for Sinatra. You're playing as the 3 most experienced players on the entire team, on the entire tournament, maybe, I don't know. These guys will not throw this situation. They are forcing Sinatra to play against the clock, to go for that plant of the spike. He's got there's nothing that he can do. They're forcing him into an impossible scenario. He can't do anything. That is just beautiful team play, communication, and experience from Hiko, Steel, and Nitro. They're never making an error there. They're never giving Sinatra anything.
I would not have put it against him if he tried to walk the Vandal and Operator up into sight. Quick drops. Quick drops. Get it up there. Give yourself an arsenal to fight with. He did what he could, buying all the time. That's the contact play and patience you need from 100 Thieves. Nobody's just peeking out. You're pinching him in, not giving him the 1v1, and Sinatra had no way to pull back there. 5-4 as it becomes quite even here on Icebox, a map that neither of these teams has played during first strike. And we'll see how they continue to go about this one, if it will be a 6-6 half.
Interestingly, 100 Thieves seem to realize that, or have gambled on an early switch up in their setup. They've got 3 towards B. They've mostly been having 3 on the A site itself. So this is going to work very nicely against what Sentinels are bringing, which is a more aggressive B hit. A lockdown will come through from Sentinels. We'll see what that's going to be able to accomplish. They're trying to play this slow and steady to make sure they don't get picked as they push forwards, but they didn't account for Nitro. He found a tiny crevice to stand in, safe from the lockdown, and still holds it down with the help of him.
Standing out in the open, why would you expect it? Blast in, so now just going to find one in hell of the tub. And it looks like they'll have pretty good control over the site now, DDK. Nitro always pull little tricky things like that, whether he's on the box at Sea Haven long or right in your face during a lockdown. Dicey drops Sinatra as the operator starts going to work and coming online again for 100 Thieves. And now Shazam going to have a lot of work cut out for him there, but Dicey gets another one on the round. And now it is 5-5 here in this first of the best of 3 series. 100 Thieves starting to look great as they get some rounds strung in a row. Their economy is going to be up, and we'll see Sentinels possibly here on another save.
As a quick point, stylistically from Sentinels' attack, you know, the way that they're playing is just heavy A or heavy B. Now, one of the ways that you may play against that is by trying to gamble on the defense and pushing B or pushing A, hoping that you find a lot of free space so you can get a flank. 100 Thieves have never done that because they don't want to play a gambly style. Instead, they're relying on playing retakes. So a lot of respect given to Sentinels as they go back to a save round, and they're hitting up on this A site. With these stingers, it is very dangerous. Dicey's going to have to be on point, and that's a great start from him.
Very big. If that's a quick shot or Dicey misses, they gain a lot of information that Stingers can rush that operator and take it out. Asuna and Dicey making quick work to dismiss. Does it give him enough room? No, Zombs find him. This is the pressure the Sentinels needs to make to get those reloads, those windows where they can fight back. They're very small, but Sentinels finds it. And now it's going to be a spike plant on the A site. You already know if you were coming behind, a great time to get 6 ultimate in there. Sick again, that Swiss Army knife, just able to bring out whatever the team needs, whenever the team needs it.
And Zombs has a few options. The issue is that he doesn't have a Vandal or a Phantom, something that can work with longer ranges. But with a minute at the beginning of this 1v3, he could just wait, and he's resetting the situation, making it so that 100 Thieves have to understand it as a possibility that he could flank. So it does pull their positions further out of the site to play it very safe. And you can see they're going to do the same as they did against Sinatra in a similar situation. Just create an impossible situation where Zombs is forced to plant the spike, which allows him to know his position, and as you can see here, to gain the ground against him to make it truly an impossibility. So they don't care that the spike goes down there, and a little bit of extra cash goes to Sentinels. They'd rather guarantee a round.
It does really. Okay, we see a bit of the stratting coming in where, how quick you can get to a position and break kind of the trend that's happening at the timing. Seems like they're having a vibe over there on 100 Thieves side. But looking at how this always happens, shots from pipes or a little behind. And the next fight's going to happen somewhere in the middle, and it becomes, obviously on this eco, a round of just aiming, but the utility or a smoke is usually there, and where as soon as Asuna's fighting is where you see the action start to happen. So A just becomes this who's feeling it this round, I feel like, so far.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It does seem quite hard to predict how those opening duels will go, but it looks like, again, Sentinels now is back to B. Sky Flash into A to prevent any forward pushes there, whilst the rest of the team goes close here. And so Nitro behind the dark cover! Oh no! That is horrible for Sentinels. A stray bullet through the smoke lands a second headshot for Nitro, which will prove quite difficult now for Sentinels. However, 100 Thieves, they make it even worse. And now it's a question of how much ground do they have? Is it enough to get onto a site? Well, it doesn't look like that's the case. Great positioning here from 100 Thieves to really prevent much, but looks like Shazam will find an angle. Maybe there's some space after all.
Some great comms in mid there from Dicey, I believe, to Hiko, that Zoms had teleported up into kitchen, so they were really able to get a flank that could have been a huge impact from Sentinels this round. 100 Thieves covering all their bases right now, and that's going to be another shot from Dicey as he's got himself. Hiko down at Snowman, and Sick doing what he can. 2v1 situation here. Final round of the first half, and 100 Thieves will make sure to pick that one up as well.
I respect the fake flash there from Sick. I respect that a lot. Shame it didn't work out. Damn. That's some variance for you. Hard to account for that if you're Sentinels.
You can always rely on Nitro for a few of those, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. If someone's going to do it, it will be him. To find those annoying kills against you. And that was a great spot because Nitro, he's often played a bit more passively. He hasn't often played that close to those choke points, to the garage position. So that really caught Sentinels off guard. And they will be trailing going into the second half by 2 rounds. Great recovery from 100 Thieves. They were down quite a lot at the beginning. We'll have to see how this pistol transpires, but it looks like a lot of aggression is already shaping up towards this B site.
And you look at the KDAs there, DDK, Asuna and Dicey stepping up again here for 100 Thieves. And the question was, would Dicey be able to fill that role again today, as he wasn't as great as Asuna, but still played good yesterday. Everybody's always going to be a critic after those, right? But still stepping up, showing that he can, and the youngsters are really molding as this team grows together.
Yeah, lots of damage done to Sick, and you can see in this rotation from 100 Thieves, they'll be able to move back into mid. Yeah. They are in a position where they can try to draw out utility early on. A lot of teams do like to just bum rush into a site, so you can really convince them to separate themselves from that utility that they're holding. And right now, it looks like 100 Thieves are moving into this A site. They have some of the utility advantage. They're playing with it. Shock Dark straight through to the back with the paranoia. Great defense, though. Shazam, he's known for that pistol aim, and it's going to come out in force, as it will for Zoms too. Holding the line at the back of the site, but it's a 2 versus 2. 40 seconds to go. Hiko trying to work the A site boxes to find another engagement, as now Asuna is laying down fire from the distance with that ghost. So Hiko, he finds one more.
Left.
But it's Dapper against 2.
Oh, utility as well. Going to go out right next to him. Got a ping, and now eyes focused. Oh, they're just toying. Hiko takes one out. Zoms falls there, and Dapper is looking to keep himself safe. Just before he gets around the corner, Hiko finds a 4K on the pistol. And they're going to start having good econ coming into these next ones. We'll see what the bonuses are if he decides to actually buy with that amount of money. And they put some strength on one of the sites. Steel, we'll go ahead and just pick up the Bulldog. It does look like they'll get a little bit under their belt. So a few Bulldogs, they are going to go ahead and try to hold these for a few rounds.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried for Sentinels, losing that pistol. Obviously, Sentinels won the first pistol. They got off to a great start on the first half, but they're, trailing at the end of that first half. And 100 Thieves are, I would say on the attacker side, obviously you're always going to favor the team that's got the better buy against the eco, but I feel like this is a very hard map to get anything on an eco, given how huge the rotations are.
Yep.
And you can see if a team plays it properly. Look at this. You know that the players on those pistols are going to want to stack. So the smallest amount of info will cause them to go for rotations. So you can bait huge rotations very easily. However, 100 Thieves have to be careful. They may be playing... They think that they just caused a rotation and they're going to reset.
Yeah.
In this reset, Sentinels will rotate back out, but they're wrong. Sentinels are actually stacking still on B. That's a great call from them.
Pull a little runaway strat. Maybe they heard us. Oh, Dicey goes down. That's going to be the spike, and not a great spot, but quickly getting taken down. Sentinels was all grouped up in one spot, and 100 Thieves was still able to hit their mark. Zom's in mid. They might be able to get some armor off of one of these members of 100 Thieves, but they start off these first 2 rounds pretty good. Now, Sentinels actually didn't buy a thing coming into this one. Maybe an extra bit of util if it came down to it, where they were in a situation that was winnable. But those were classics across the board. They are going to be funded here, and we'll see if they try to do something big coming into this next round.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so much that we have to look out for just because we've seen so little Icebox and it's so deep in the tournament.
Yeah.
Definitely know these teams have been prepping on it. And yeah, I was a little bit concerned to see that fake rotation actually not get bought at all from the ecoing team in Sentinels. But into another buy round we'll go, and seems like 100 Thieves have a similar style so far from Sentinels attack. going pretty heavy towards this A hit.
DDK, 3 members of Sentinels bought down to 0. This will be their 3rd round loss. If they all go down, that's 2,900 they get next round, but this round is imperative for them to stop the bleeding of what happened here in the beginning. 100 Thieves feeling great. Zombs does stop that. Asuna goes down in the back of the site, and now they're trying to get up top. Great plant towards the top side, covered by smoke. The fight in between 2, and Nitro finds the kill before he drops to the hands of Zombs 3K.
Hiko in the 1 versus 2. He's done this so many times in CS in his career. Oh, he's just been spotted. They're thinking he's going around the corner, though. He might be able to isolate one of these 2 players. That's how you get this done, but it's Dapper to find the shot instead. Very difficult to win those. And that is a much-needed round from Sentinels. Really nice defense at the back of the site. Where, I mean, it's scary, man. You see Asuna flying in on the rope, trying to gain the space as quickly as possible. There was that one player he overlooked, and that was where things started to look a bit more doable there for Sentinels.
What this round could have meant if 100 Thieves were able to almost clean sweep it would have put the side of Sentinels in such a hard place in the economy game. But Sentinels do it. They come out really strong on that round, persevere, and they find themselves now with a bit more money to play with, all that utility now. Ultimate here for Zombs. He's been having a pretty good second half, so he's going to be able to cause some distraction if it comes to it. And 100 Thieves look like they will want to start working their way towards A once again.
Yeah, we will see Six trying to pressure mid a little bit, but you can see Steel's investigating the tube there, making sure that he understands whether or not they're actually pushing mid. So right now, Steel can actually work out that they are stacking towards the A site proper, and it looks like they are still committing in regardless. They could try to rotate out there with Steel's lurk. Steel's lurk is pretty huge right now, so they can afford to slow the push down to let Steel work and gather info, but it just looks like that's not going to happen here. Zombs manages to bring the fight too dicey, and 100 Thieves, they're not really in the position to use Steel as they wanted, but finally, that's what we're talking about. Steel catches one of the defenders, and this is going to cause a rotation back to B. There's 55 seconds, so there's a lot that 100 Thieves can do here, but it's all on Steel. He has to hold on to this forward position. He has to win these fights, otherwise this will not work out.
He loves this. One of the more aggressive ciphers you will see, and he gets the flick shots. More than not, hitting Shazam there right off the hip. Zombs answers back. Finally, Steel didn't have enough HP to make it happen. And now, Sinatra and Zombs on the retake. Spike is planted, acting as almost a 3rd member that 100 Thieves get to work with here, and they get to work around that member.
Great timing there for Nitro to defend against Sinatra, but it's up to Zombs playing around the dark cover, looking to isolate the 1v1s. There's one of them, tapping the bomb, putting the pressure on. Can he find the next shot? He's looking for it. It's Hiko to get it done in the 1v1. Great stuff there from him as 100 Thieves. They go 10 to Sentinels 6. They are definitely pulling away at this point, but what a beautiful play from Steel in that round. It was all on him.
It really is. They talk about his IGL, right? The beginning strat was towards the A site. And they talk about how Steel's in-game and mid-game strats are something to be reckoned with. Finds Dapper on a quick check on mid, and the strats towards B. But it still required Steel to do something in B, taking out 6. So there's more to it all the time. He'll usually show up with the flick shots. 10 to 6 now as we start to progress onto this one. Round 17, or see if Bladestorm from Shazam can pick up anything towards Tub and mid.
It definitely, as well, it's unfortunate it didn't. They have 3 Stingers, though, to work some of these close quarters combat situations that they may encounter around this B site. That's actually part of the reason, in fact, why we're seeing 100 Thieves go to this site, because you can deny some of those close quarter fights. You can have more open engagements where your rifles are better. Oh my god, Asuna is just a laser with that Vandal. Beautiful stuff. It is looking quite desperate, though, here for 100 Thieves. They didn't want it to be this difficult. You got to hand it to Sentinels. They're doing so much damage right now. The spike unable to be planted. They're going to have to reconsider what they actually do in this round. They reset things. They did not get the position they needed, and that is some guns to be collected for Sentinels. Now,
absolutely.
They are waiting for the rotation here. They want to re-push onto this B side.
See what they can do. They did so much damage, but you're right. Sentinels have to be so happy with what they've done in terms of damage
30 seconds
taking
left.
armor off, at least from Dicey. So they play this round even more patient, and they get a few more of those wins that dominoes into an entire round win for them. Dicey playing it slow. They want to leave him for the open. Hiko's going to try to displace one if he can. The paranoia comes through as Hiko finds. Will he be able to clutch this? He will not. It's a Playzilla thrifty for Sentinels.
Really well played. I mean, again, there's a reason why 100 Thieves go to that B site, because when you're up against Stingers and so on, you're going to reduce some of that variance. You're going to make the fights worse for the Stingers. But even still, Sentinels still defend really effectively, and you got to hand it to them for that. And that's going to help them stay in this game, because it really didn't look like they were going to be able to find a way back in. 100 Thieves, they were playing so well, and the 100 Thieves started to pull out that mid-round stuff as well. We saw that from Steel, and we may see a different look here as well. A lot of players here for 100 Thieves moving towards that mid position. There's that flash that's come through most rounds from Sig.
A little knowledge from the Ruba goes out towards Kitchen. This is the first time we really see a little love towards mid. 100 Thieves is going to try to start pressuring something that Sentinels hasn't really been able to see. Dog goes out. Spammed. Sinatra finds the head of Steel, and looks like they're going to try to get in towards Snowpile, but it does not work. Sentinels is ready for this, and maybe we see that reason. You can't take mid. It's such a quick squeeze from both sides. Somebody's always Kitchen. Somebody can look down container side. That fight does remove a few members of 100 Thieves, and now they are up against a 5-person retake here from Sentinels.
Yeah, certainly not a good look. I love, like, tactically what 100 Thieves are trying to do. We'll go into that in a second as Nitro tries to find himself some love with that Sheriff, although he will be denied. So I wanted to mention quickly, we saw Hiko was at the spawn ship at the start of the round lining up a recon dart, which went through the Snowpile window as his teammates were coming up through the tube. So that dart goes through and allows, basically breaks the kind of pre-aim or crosshair placement of defenders just as his teammates are coming through that position. So it's a nice little setup to gain some mid control, but unfortunately Sentinels just a little bit better this time around as we go into the next round, and it does seem to be a Sentinel story now. They are bringing this one back. There's still a couple more rounds to go to equalize.
Shazam picking up that operator. Thought he might. And everybody's fragging this game. Participation from each team, cannot single anyone out. Ults are coming up when they might need to come up due to frags or ult or grabs, and it's just coming down to these firefights again. So we'll check this A strat as they go and proceed forward. Obviously a dart to the backside. You want to grab a little info. Who are we fighting? Will we expect Sam's paranoia? Can we expect the Killjoy turret to be somewhere into the site? Get a little bit closer at the fight on pipes. This is where it begins. And that's where the Killjoy lockdown is actually going to start, as they suspect it might be the A site take. DDK, 100 Thieves is still going to execute.
This is awesome as well because Sick actually sent the dog down mid earlier to see if there was any lurk from Steel. He saw that there wasn't. So that actually allowed them to know it was a committed A play, which then triggered the lockdown play. So now it's a reset situation for 100 Thieves. They don't have to commit here. The Sky ult comes through to delay things even more, buying time. And 100 Thieves have to start to worry about flanks. And also, equally, Sentinels have to, because they don't actually have a flank, they have to worry about the reset into a rotation to the other side. So right now, this is just sort of a stalemate as far as the defenders of Sentinels are concerned. They're just sitting, holding their ground, waiting for 100 Thieves to make a move, and there's that move. Nitro gets the better of Zombs, and now they trigger the push onto A.
It becomes such a touch and go of who's going to hit the shot. Nitro and Steel take down 2 more. Shazam and Sick now on the rotations, and Shazam isn't close just yet. So 100 Thieves will get a little time here to buy some space to set up a garrison on A.
Great entry from Sick, though, to take down Steel.
That's huge.
Looking to see what else he can get here as this spike ticks away. Nitro is now looking to see if he can find Sick, knowing he's lurking around there somewhere. They've got good positions to play from, good angles to play off of one another. But that cloudburst, that puts the pressure on. You can see it forces Nitro forwards. There's that recon dart, though. They can't see through the cloudburst. They know the jet must be in there. Nitro goes close with the classic, finds it, prevents the defuse, and 100 Thieves manage to hold the plant. Lovely stuff from them. That brings them to 11, 2 away from a victory in the semifinals in map 1.
What? I cannot wait to see what the evolution of that area right there in the mid where Pipes is Hiko's looking. It just happens for teams. What the strats become, because we saw when they get shut down, and Steel's just super hype here on screen. We saw when they got shut down, it was up to Nitro to push forward with Asuna just above his head, right? No more util to start using in that case. So it does become that just firefight, which actually makes it super interesting and intense each game because there's a lot left up to that.
Oh, definitely. And you know, we have a faster pace through the tube and mid here, and they destroy all of the utility of Sky, of Sick, who has been throwing that stuff consistently. So that creates all the pressure and presence. Look at the rotation on the defenders on the mini-map. You can see they pulled fully out of the A site. They realized that immediate kill of the utility of Sky is very threatening. They have to respect it. They do have zones going back into A to kind of investigate to make sure, but right now they're definitely feeling mid. They're definitely feeling that B play from 100 Thieves, and they wouldn't be wrong to do so.
Nitro again, working the elevation here, trying to use a little verticality to his advantage. And they have not been shy at kind of faking B. This will be the second time. Last they did go back after a quick runaway, trying to get an audio cue rotation off of Sentinels. This time again, that committal towards A with quite a bit of utility to use here. Dicey can get himself to the back. Hiko has quite a few darts to use. And Shazam and the rest of the team are ready over at B. I wonder if the rotation will be enough. It was the silent walk in, and 100 Thieves are going to try to defend A now with Sick opening up.
Yeah, this is going to be very difficult for 100 Thieves. So many players left alive for Sentinels to get even worse. Hiko and Dicey against it all. Here is Dicey. Dashes out after that kill onto Zombs. That is not bad. Hiko also delivering frags here. This might be doable, but just as I say that, Shazam and Sick will silence the effort of 100 Thieves. And I got to say, that was a great round rip from 100 Thieves. We could see, you know, we talked about it, that initial pressure in mid, it was respected. That pulled the rotation out of A. They started to put more pressure towards B, and that allowed Steel to lurk into the A site. But Steel got a very deep position on A as the team went to rotate back there, but he didn't get anything from it. He actually lost the 1 versus 1. If Steel would have won that 1 versus 1, I think 100 Thieves probably win the round. So it was a great setup from 100 Thieves. They still made it look very competitive despite that.
Quite a few ults ready this round. Dicey right there. Could be looking for an ult point as well. We'll see how they decide to play this one. He's focused over towards that B side. It might be right what they go for. Nice shot from Sinatra. Love the double crane jump as he gets on top of that highest container. And now they trade back and forth. No action towards A just yet, just this time. And no real coverage on mid here, but Sentinels will play it slow to see if they're getting pushed from the angles they didn't have info on previously.
It feels like both teams are playing super well right now. No one has an amazing answer for anything. I think I can't really fault either team for what they're doing. And we'll get a bit of information sought after by Sky. Sick there with that dog, sending it all the way through. And I think it was mostly avoided here, so they may not realize quite how close 100 Thieves are. They certainly realize now, though, because 100 Thieves start piling into the site, making all the noise, looking for that spike plant. They'll be able to manage to get that. Asuna picks that one up. A Ghost and a Sheriff, though, that's all they have to work with. But there's a Vandal collected by Asuna. We know how dangerous he is with this. Just juking around that box. Dapper trying to use the Nanoswarm to get him from that position, and he's going to make it work out. It's now down to Hiko once again. He's got the Hunter's Fury. He's got some info off the recon dart, and he's going to creep around the site. If he can find the 1v1s here, he might be able to make this work. They just have a sense of it where he's at, and Shazam nails it with the classic. Oh, such an important round by Sentinels. 10-11 for them now.
Well played there inside the mind of Hiko as they both step out to know Hiko. Honestly, one of the clutch masters there on 100 Thieves. If it's the end of the round, you want him alive. It's the middle of the round, you can see Steel getting 3Ks along with Nitro. I mean, the whole team can step up, but here, they do not allow it to happen this time. He does save the Hunter's Fury, I believe you mentioned that. Maybe one of these next rounds, 11-10 as it gets tight, and it may not have solidified the round there. Continuously, everyone is fragging. What a game here from both teams on our first map of Icebox. And like I said, DDK, this should have been the one that, this could be the one that tilts the scales, with the next map being in favor of Sentinels, and the last map, if we can get to it, being 100 Thieves.
Yeah, absolutely right. And I just love how close this is. We'll get another push towards this B side of the map, looking for these openings. Asuna gets taken down by Shazam. And Aslan is so dangerous. I'm always afraid for anyone who's in his crosshairs, but he will get eliminated this time. And you can see the rotation from 100 Thieves instantly, just running all the way to this A site. And already there's a defense set up here. Sentinels have all of the edges, all of the advantages in their favor.
Zonfire Steel looking the wrong way. 2 for him. The entries are huge. And Shazam's going to answer back. Spike goes down there. That's going to be all they need to tie it up. Action in A happens so quick. It's relentless when everybody starts going forward here. And now we are going to see who can get that advantage and then game point. DDK is exactly how I wanted to see it happen for both teams. Sinatra bringing out the Odin. Let's see where he decides to go with this one. It looks like he'll set up somewhere towards the kitchen area, and his rotation will be over towards A side if they really need it here. But I'm looking to see what he knows to spam up.
I know, right? I just don't even want to know just like what nerdy spot Sinatra has discovered. It's going to be on matchmaking now for the next few months, but we'll see. Just by the cheaper, as you mentioned, trying to defend this with Raze. Great spot for Raze with the utility. You can apply so much pressure there, make it really hellish for the attackers. But speaking of which, 100 Thieves, not really worried about mid. They have Steel on the lurk there once again, but they've got this pressure. 4 players towards the A site, looking for the opening. Dicey's got that Blade Storm on the go, looking for the kills, but he's not going to find it. In fact, 100 Thieves really coming up short here on this attack.
Sick has been disgusting inside the site. Everybody from Sentinel stepping up there, but it just seems like that back corner is his. We'll see how this happened once again. A few misses here. The Blade Storm has not been connecting for Dicey on the rounds. He throws it out, and Sentinels take advantage of that one more time. Now on game point here for Icebox.
And it's crazy. It felt like, those first 4 rounds, you can see it on the scoreboard right there. Sentinels won those in a row. It really felt like a Sentinels game, but then 100 Thieves, they took over. And it's not until in the last few rounds the Sentinels have looked like they're going to win this one. And of course, here we go, looking fantastic. Shazam's already come online too. Haven't seen what Sinatra has planned with that Odin just yet, but I'm sure we'll see that. Once again, 100 Thieves looking for that A play. This is a very similar opening. In fact, it's the same opening as the last round. We'll have to see if it can go better, though.
100 Thieves can get the spike down. That's Hunter's Fury, but they use it to open up the site, and it's going to work as Asuna pulls down Sick as well at the beginning of this one. He has had so many good rounds. That is a big impact frag to have as Nitro answers again. We may be going into overtime. DDK, Shazam, and Dapper have to try their hardest here to make this one count.
There's a very late lurk that's possible as well in this mid position from Steel. Oh, never mind. Shazam will take him down, and they are making this quite desperate here for 100. Oh my God, what is happening here with these knives? Shazam's really coming online indeed. Love to see that. I've got to say, it is not easy to hit some of those shots with Jet's ultimate. So it's good to see that Shazam, he's been doing his warm-up.
He does. He always jumps around in the range, and he does spinning jumps too. It's actually kind of wild watching him do his Jet practice. I remember watching him in the early days, like 2 months ago.
Yeah, he's definitely known for that first bullet precision. Somebody that had legendary pistol aim in North America in the CS:GO scene. He always prided himself on it, and obviously he's an incredibly expert sniper as well. So makes sense that Jet is a snug fit for him.
Yeah, calling the shots, making the shots. Shazam, your Sentinels, IGL, always there to wow. Almost dropping a 20, just one away there on the screen. Zombs does have 21 for the team. They've really started to step up here along with Sick and the rest. And now we are on to our first OT round. Got to win by 2, and we'll have 100 Thieves back on that defensive side.
Yeah, it's a full push onto the A side as we've seen so many times. Dicey with the operator on defense, Shazam with the operator on offense. Nice early pick from Dicey. That often converts quite nicely on the retake for them. And speaking of which, in fact, they haven't even lost the sight just yet. Asuna finally gets taken down, but he doesn't do so without doing damage first.
Look at the
recon
flank.
dodge, so important.
All the way around. Steel says no. He was at the back door to enter in at Belt, and he still comes around to help the team. Is that going to be what counts? Power in numbers for 100 Thieves as they retake the site here. Dapper's got pretty good health, takes down Dicey. He was low. Nitro also low as Hiko's going to be the check, and he goes down. It's going to be the 1v1. Will he be able to clutch it? Nitro finds the 3K on the round with low HP, and that was big for 100 Thieves.
It's so hard to predict, Riv, like what is going to happen on some of these retakes. There's just so many corners and angles. It's just very hard to follow who is actually in advantage in some of these scenarios. It looked really good initially on the defense. And Dapper, I mean, it was just by a hair that he doesn't manage to transfer that. Just so close to winning that battle. Nitro on 31 points of health. That could not have been closer. And it definitely makes sense that we're in overtime right now. Both of these teams, as I said, they've got similar approaches as to how they play Icebox on defense and offense. And they're both really, everybody's showing up right now. That's fantastic to see. And we're on Steel once again with that lurk in mid. Dealing with the Sky utility, preventing Sick from getting too much. Although that said, Sick is actually trying to take quite a lot. We'll go back though after that flash didn't really work out for him.
Asuna doing what he does best, finding kills in pivotal moments and making the opponent wish they had peeked. Once again, he does it, looking for a 3K, dismisses to the back of the site, and will try to take another 1v1. That's been 6 spot, though. It's his playground as Dicey gets the trade with 2 more. Dapper again, the last one alive, Lone Man standing, and he falls to Steel as 100 Thieves will take the win on Icebox.
What a great strat there right at the end as well. We hadn't seen that approach at all in regulation, Riv. We saw so many situations where Steel was the one lurking up and they would have heavy pressure into A. This time they had heavy pressure into mid. They sent Asuna by himself into A to find the 1v1, and Asuna has been winning so many 1v1s. I've got to say, Asuna is here to play. His aim is unbelievable right now, and this guy, I would be so afraid of him if I was on the other team.
You know, DDK, something that's really impressed me with 100 Thieves is my questions are being answered in terms of, do these mentalities connect with so many boomers and so many zoomers? But will they also be able to react under intense play when they're pushed to the limit? Does it get under their skin too much? Do they get shaky? No. The younger ones are the ones to step up, perform. Like you said, Asuna stepping forward, hitting those shots. Everybody participates, and that's been a pretty big wow factor for 100 Thieves coming in here and what makes them look so dangerous coming into a semi-finals. What a close match for Game 1. Let's throw it over to the analyst desk to break that down. Dash, take it away.
Thank you so much, Riv. I am just pumped because we got our first overtime of the tournament, and Belly, it goes the way of 100 Thieves, clutching it out there in the end.
So, the first round of overtime, it was crazy, man, especially over towards A. We saw Dapper in a 1v3, and I was saying to myself, I even said it out loud to you guys, I said, there's no shot Dapper gets this. 1, 2, then a 1v1 came around, Dapper switched over way too late, the aim wasn't on, Nitro bodied them, Nitro was on fire. All game, by the way, okay? This is the second round that did it for me. Too busy with the rest of the team wasting all types of kills in the middle to try to get rid of Steel. But it was Asuna. Yes, Nico was right. Asuna went so late, was able to body Shazam on catwalk, ran right deep in the site, was able to kill Zombs, and it just opened up everything for 100 Thieves and were able to just secure the win. That type of play from 100 Thieves is insane. I'm going to be honest, Jordan Van Zyl, you guys are right.
Fizeram sempre a mesma coisa. O facto de eles mudarem uma ceninha de nada, eles não estavam à espera. O gajo do A estava a ouvir os outros e disse, o seu relógio tira daqui. O gajo ficava logo atento, smoke, não sei o que, blind, pronto. Neste caso, os gajos estão no meio. Os gajos estão no meio e de repente olha para a frente e levar um tiro na cabeça. Os gajos ir para o meio foi muito bom. Já deviam ter ido mais cedo.
It's that old tortoise and the hare kind of story, right? I mean, I think the patience is really the thing that helped 100 Thieves take this home, at least for this round. The thing that we were talking about a little bit, and something that I find very interesting, I kind of want to open it up to everybody to discuss, is the roster here for 100 Thieves, right? When you have a retake happening, again, it's that superpower that I talk about for each of these orgs. They tend to have something. There's something, some mutation that the team has that makes them what they are. And for 100 Thieves, it's their retake ability. That right there falls into the hands of Steel, falls into the hands of Hiko, falls into the hands of Nitro. Those are the 3 that you want to see come in late. And what I love is that seemingly on A there, they just kind of open up the gates for their youngins, for Asuna and for Dicey to get information, to try to pop some kills, do whatever they need to do on the defense side, so that our vets can then come in
you know, throw the guns over their shoulders and take care of what needs to be taken care of. And I think it's a lot of fun to watch.
When Jordan's saying everybody had to step up, I totally agree with you. Everybody had their moments. Everybody had their rounds. So you mentioned Nitro. He's been having some free Ks. He got that clutch on the 1 versus 1. We looked at Hiko. Hiko had to try to win 2 versus 1, but the utilities that came in from Sky with Sick, the 3K, Shazam with the Ops, Steal the opening rounds that he had when he lurked towards that mid side and got a 3K and kind of opened up the B site. It goes back to that conversation in that interview from Hiko that I had with Spix yesterday. There are a couple of rounds where they had no business in winning, and then you have somebody like Dicey that's going to have a 4K up on the defender side. You have Asuna that's just driving by with the Vandal on retakes on B. It was intense from both sides of these teams, but I do like the fact that Sentinels, they were relentless on their pushes. It was like taking a playbook from Immortals and then expanding it to 2 sites. Because, and I like the idea. The amount of times you rush towards A as a group or rushing towards B as a group, this map is so big. So when it comes down to, hey, you won that site and your teammates have to rotate on the defender side going for 100 Thieves, well, the retake takes so much time. You're wasting a lot of time after a spike plan, so running that clock down, using it to your advantage for Sentinels, it worked out pretty well for a couple of rounds on the attacker side.
It definitely did. Well, and another thing, I mean, just kind of speaking to the size of this map, we talk about the transition time that it takes for any kind of retake, right? Like, right. What's that connecting bridge there? And for Icebox, it's that untouchable zone of mid. What is that underneath 2? What's going on at kitchen? What's going on with the 2-story over at the nest? The ramp, if that's not smoked off, it's a danger zone. It's an absolute kill zone for anybody that's on that's on the defense side. And something that I loved, I think just, again, with the size of the map and where all that's concerned, Steele didn't have a lot of time to sit AFK in his camera like he says that he likes for him to. I'd be really curious to know what those IGLs were like for them, and swapping back and forth between, you know, hard faking a 5-man on A and then like leaning B, leaving Asuna to kind of lurk mid up in kitchen and that kind of, like, I'd be curious to know what those conversations were like.
Well, that's why I love the call-outs for Dicey and Asuna, affording the space to the veterans, right? Getting those first initial op kills on the pushes to kind of stonewall Sentinels out of the site, buy that time for the rotation to come in on a really big map. And we're going from one big map, Valley, to another big map. This one chosen by 100 Thieves. We know they're at home on Haven. So really my question to you is, where's the answer for Sentinels? How do they break through this defensively minded team?
Well, they're 59% on attack, about 52% on defense. They're going to have to pick it up. I'm going to be honest, watching Shazam snipe and popping off, and then once Dicey and Nitro got a hold of the scope, you really didn't see much anymore unless there was a few spurs of just Shazam getting a headshot through the boxes at Generator. But other than that, I'm really expecting the 2 young guns to pick it up. You see the confidence rising with the vets. Remember that 3-man clutch where there was Hiko, Steel, and Nitro? I think they're really going to have to bring it. They're going to have to play back to their aggressive play style. It worked well at the beginning of the round, at the beginning of the game, but then once things slowed down, 100 Thieves ran away with it. So keep pressing W. Keep moving forward, please.
I think that is, you know, as Jordan called out the core identity for 100 Thieves in so many ways, pressing W is the core identity for Sentinels as a roster. And so, hey, they're going to have to get it done on map 2 here, going to Haven. We're heading to a quick break. When we come back, Riv and DDK will have you, take you straight on to Haven.